They should start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares are the best part of my day.
The goods from the wood.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I'm Pat Riley.
I'm the good man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
And today we are joined by, goddamn, I met Tom Sibley probably 2012, basically right when I moved here. You were doing Into the World show at Lyric Hyperion Theater with our friends Monica and Ben Bazuna, Neil Nanda, all those folks.
Yeah.
And I met Tom Sibley, and so this is a long
Way to
time
spoil
coming.
who the guest is.
Oh,
and
sorry.
Not have him say what his name is.
Yeah,
because-
I broke tradition.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I broke tradition with our guest.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Is it now? Oh, hey, I'm Tom Sibley. How did I? Do
Yay.
you remember how I did on that show?
It was fun. Yeah,
Did I do okay?
I think so. Yeah, I remember being like, "Oh, this guy's fun."
Yeah, one of the
Okay.
hosts of Goof City, Tom Sibley.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the other thing that we have shared. Both of us were on the were two of the inaugural podcasts of the failed Westcast.
Yeah, the
network.
Westcast Network. They were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Had they just held on for a little bit longer,
For another 13 years.
yeah, it could have been just such a big deal, but it
Well,
wasn't.
We've often talked about like how the
party show was fun.
The party they had for it was incredible.
Oh yeah. We were all got our pictures taken
There
on
was
a
a
red carpet.
There was
Yeah.
a fucking backdrop. Our podcast
There was lots
banners.
of free pop chips.
Yeah, there was free pop
It was like
chips.
flying jet blue.
And like every podcast was supposed to go up, but of course, I did Goof City with two comedians, Chase Bernstein and Rob Gleason, who were so not into doing a podcast. So every podcast went up on stage and performed a little bit.
And you just did stand up.
I just got to do stand up,
Yeah.
which was fine by me because
Yeah.
it was a really sweet crowd.
Yeah, it was a great crowd. We did a bit where Pat was a second. He hit his head, and
It wasn't a bit. It happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Occasionally, this has happened to the Westwood Brew going on. Occasionally, Pat will get amnesia and thinks that he's me.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And usually from hits to the brain and
Yeah.
things like this, because Pat has concussionage and things like that.
Is that movie Concussion with Will Smith?
Yeah, that was
hit
really-
too close to
Yeah,
home.
it hit
to home,
real
yeah.
close. Ain't that a kick in the head,
Yeah.
if you will? To coin a
Just
phrase.
I don't want to do anything distasteful. I had 3 distasteful jokes that went into my head, and I can't do it.
What about like a Chris Benoit joke?
No. I was gonna go the Mike Webster direction, but
Well, you get
know.
forgetful when you've had a concussion. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true, and I end up being Mr. Goodnight.
Who's Webster?
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
one
say,
that
I
was
don't know
living
that
in
one.
his truck?
What did he do? What
he
awful
was-
thing did he do
No,
before
he
he
was-
killed
are you
himself?
Are you talking about Randy the Ram?
No, he was Mike Webster in the movie Concussion. You watched the movie Concussion?
Oh, I
right?
never saw
Oh,
it.
okay, never mind. He played
You want to
for
know
the-
why? Because I don't want to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
No, he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers for like 19 years. He's like a Hall of Fame.
19 years. Of
Yeah, he
football?
was. Yeah, and he was an offensive lineman, so
Must have
he got
been.
a lot of punishment. He's like kind of the stalwart on all those like Iron Curtain classic.
Football is a bad idea.
Yeah,
movies.
and he was like he had a bit. He was like a successful businessman when he came out of football.
He would
and I
break things with his head
think- yeah.
at the opening of a car dealership.
No,
I'm
he was
gonna
like,
break 3 fish tanks.
No, he was like No, but he was like an entrepreneur.
Thanks, kids.
He did like he was like really successful, and then like the concussion syndrome, the CTE came in, and he like developed this like heavy grade dementia, and he like ended up living in his truck, like destitute for the end of his like life. It was like really sad, and that's
God.
one of the big stories in Concussion is Mike Webster, where he like
Did they cover Benoit at all?
no, they didn't.
Okay.
Wait,
No.
is Concussion the Will Smith movie?
Yeah,
Concussion? Oh.
yeah.
Why didn't we talk about this in the last one?
I don't know. Yeah, we had a.
We had a resident Will Smith expert.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Jada Pinkett Smith was very upset that her hubby, Will Smith, did not get nominated for an Academy Award
Oh, for Concussion.
for Concussion. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Did you? Any of you guys see Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
All right. It's a terrible movie.
man.
Will Smith is in that, okay?
Yeah.
And there's a moment in that where he like shoots like 1 million dudes in
Yeah.
like 5 minutes or like whatever.
Yeah.
And the movie's going so bad, but when he did that, at that moment, I was like, that's why that guy's a movie star.
Yeah.
Because it was good. Like, it totally worked.
Yeah. Well,
For a movie that was just going so poorly, and like after the first 45 minutes, it finally started.
Yeah.
And then when he did that, it was like, holy shit, like, that's why that guy is who he is.
Yeah, well, people kind of shit on him because he did, unfortunately, he was anchored down with the titular line where he had to go, what is this? Some kind of Suicide Squad? Like, that was...
And then he winked into the camera.
I laughed so fucking hard. I was sitting next to Ryan Shoemaker, and we couldn't... I don't know what was said for the next 5 minutes because Shoemaker and I were just fucking dying when he said that. But that movie, I kept thinking, I was like, this is... We like him. You know, like...
You know who else was really good in Suicide Squad? Jai Courtney.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am a Jai Courtney man myself. I love him. I've seen even some independent films he's done.
Yeah.
He's a hunkosaurus Rex. And I'm just a big fan.
I have no clue in this shit. I don't watch no dumb nerd.
We're here with Tom Sibley, host of Butts Comedy, and
Oh yeah, we'll go back into all my things. Member of Girth, sketch group, Butts Comedy monthly show, a one night only monthly show that came and went because it was a terrible venue.
Oh, the
Novel Cafe.
The Novel Cafe, because it's cavernous and high ceilings. High ceilings, echoey. It just doesn't make for good.
sounds like
comedy.
fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
an uphill battle.
Great flyer, though.
Yeah, great flyer. Yeah, it was just me on the flyer. Did we talk about this?
Yes,
the other-
we did.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's what my wife recognized you from, was the flyer of Butts Comedy. So,
hey, there's worse things
Yeah.
to be recognized for.
Yeah.
which, by the way, we
we saw Tom at New Japan Pro Wrestling. We were all members of both of our podcasts were in attendance there.
We're in attendance.
I saw the entire
I
We Watch
didn't
Wrestling
know
crew.
it was you when I saw you.
Oh, I'm incognito.
It's
sometimes.
hard. I'm never
I'm
100%
undercover.
sure who you are.
Nobody is.
But I
They're
was-
always guessing. Because I keep them guessing, you understand?
Yeah, but I was talking to Pat and I was looking over. I was like, is that Good Night? I'm not sure. And I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. I really wasn't sure. And then I only
Oh,
realized,
no, don't worry about it.
okay.
I didn't recognize you either.
Okay, good. Thank God.
I'm glad you wore the shirt because then everything clicked into place.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Listeners, I'm being the biggest asshole in the world right now.
It's
Yeah.
great.
There's a reason I'm wearing this. I haven't done laundry.
It's a New Japan Pro Wrestling,
But it's a white shirt.
But it's the We Watch Wrestling parody shirt.
Yeah.
of King. It says King of Podcasts.
Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a white shirt. I've worn all my white shirts because it's so fucking hot outside.
Yeah, of course.
And then I had this one and I was like, all right, let's just fucking do it, man.
man.
Let's just wear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a good shirt.
No, it is. And it's also great material. It's that.
Oh,
lighter-
dude, that's important, man. That's important.
It is.
Was our shirt comfortable? I don't have one. Was our shirt comfortable?
It was. Yeah,
I did feel bad at New Japan because I was waiting in line for a beer and Tom just kind of darts by and I'm like, hey Tom, and Tom and I greet each other and I kind of blew his cover because there was a line of about 13 or 14 people trying to get a beer, maybe 15.
Oh, God.
7 of them recognized Tom Sibley from.
man.
Oh, yeah.
It just created a cascade because
Celebrity
I blew
status.
his cover. Yeah, no.
Celebrity status. I could go nowhere without kind of being recognized and getting some brief nods.
Yeah.
One thing that was fun, though, is this one guy walked past me real quick, didn't stop, didn't say hi or anything, but we were just passing each other, both going at a good clip, and he just went, Sabone! And I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I was talking to Tom, and we were catching up about his painting, and some guy walked up and he's just like, "Listen, I got photographs with Vince. I got photographs with Matt. Tom, I want to get a photograph with you." And he had his wife take the photo, and he just gave me that look like, "Hey, jabroni, get out of my photograph! Don't taint this moment with Tom Sibley."
He posted that on our Facebook group, but he posted the main picture was with him and Matt.
Yeah.
And Vince.
Yeah.
And then in a comment under it, like a little pigeon fart of a picture is me and him.
Hey, that's still something.
Yeah.
Getting in the comments.
But
there.
it was
something.
It was great wrestling action. Goodnight lost his mind at the main event of the second night.
I had a good old time at the provocatively titled G1 Climax.
Is the idea? Are they provocatively titling it, or is in Japanese the word
This
climax
means something.
just doesn't have the same
It
thing
seems like
as,
one of those where it's like translated into something that sounds more sexual than it means to be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I
like-
mean, the thing with all those Japanese wrestling titles and stuff, it's like they kind of just sound good, but they kind of are a little bit of nonsense. Like, what was it? There's like the Miracle Violence Connection, the tag team, where it's just like, okay, these words just don't go together, but it sounds awesome.
It sounds like a Sega game.
Yeah, exactly. But G1 Climax sounds like, if you don't jerk off for a few days and you just don't do anything and then you jerk off,
Is
you
it
have
like
a
the?
G1
Is it like the?
Climax.
Is it
And
like
we
the-
didn't jerk off for a few days
Or-
before
Was it
that
like
show.
is it like the tornado scale, like the F5 sort of thing? Where it's
See,
like, no,
I
had a G1.
that's what I was gonna say.
Dude, were you making a Twister reference there?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the F5?
yeah.
Do you remember when they're all eating and she goes, well, what's an F5? And people drop plates and it gets real quiet. And then the older scientisty guy goes, it's the finger of God. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Bill Paxton.
Oh God, they're both dead.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I wanted to share with. I know Pat's heard this, but we were watching Billy Gunn and Tanahashi.
Missed that whole match.
You missed something special, man.
And I love Billy Gunn. I don't. Oh no, I was on the phone. My girlfriend and I just got a dog.
Oh, okay.
And the dog got loose from her when she was walking it, and the fucking service in that place was spotty, and I thought she had lost the dog. And I was about to run to my car and just go home, and I was like, what's going on? And I found out the dog got loose. She got the dog back and everything, but she was shaken
literally
up.
saw 13 photos of this dog that Tom
Oh, did I
just
show you?
adopted.
Oh, yeah.
Well, y'all need to
In the
get a good
bathroom
doggy
line.
sitter.
Yeah.
Y'all need I had my brother Zach Dog Company just got out of the army looking after my doggy that day.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm giving him a shout out.
All right.
But we were watching the Billy Gunn match, which, by the way, mostly consisted of Billy Gunn just kind of been like holding his arms out.
This
kind of
was a masterpiece of
looking.
bad wrestling.
It was incredible.
I felt blessed that I got to see this thing live.
A lot
Did
of
you say bad?
Yeah.
Was it a bad match?
It was so bad it was awesome.
Yeah, it was bad. It was the horseshoe effect where it was so bad that it came around and it was.
Well,
great.
here's what it was. Before it, they showed a recorded promo where Mr. Ass says, when I'm there, I'm going to bring my A game. When he showed up, he didn't.
He brought his F game.
He didn't move. that
if his
much.
A
He brought his ass.
He brought his A game.
I mean, if his A game consists of very solid flexing and pointing, he did plenty of
a
flexing.
lot of
plenty
flexing, lots of pointing, lots of crouch chops.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and the crowd
Lot of
hated
shrugging.
him.
the crowd hated him, and that was my favorite part because every one of these goddamn people was booing this guy, and I'm just there like, every one of you hypocritical fucks had a DX shirt, and don't you fucking lie to me.
Fucking
every
marks.
goddamn one of you loved this guy if it was
Wait.
20 years ago.
What? I thought. Wait, hold on. I haven't been a wrestling fan for very long. If you don't know, I do a podcast called We Watch Wrestling. I never watched it. The idea is two other comedians introducing me to wrestling.
yeah.
That's the basis of the podcast. Whatever. I thought Billy Gunn could wrestle.
He's old now.
Well, he's old now.
But I thought he was in the
like,
best shape of his life.
I was gonna say,
I'm such a fucking mark.
Well, you
I
believe the promos. That's
Hey, you know,
I believe the promos.
I mean,
I'm
he was
it should be
killing-
a great match.
I mean, he's killing it on the Florida senior bodybuilding circuit.
Well,
so.
no, he was.
He looked great. He looked great,
Yeah.
and
He looked
his
great,
ass
yeah.
had held up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that brings me to this I wanted to share. So my buddy Justin is a huge fan of New Japan. So I was kind of just texting him. He lives back in Alabama. So I was texting him, just kind of updating him on all the stuff that was going on. He fucking hates Billy Gunn. So I was giving him lots of updates about that.
I didn't know this. I didn't know everyone hated Billy Gunn.
Too many haters, man.
Yeah.
Waverly, Alabama, no haters, man.
That's right. Yeah. Well, he lives in Eclectic, and there's lots of haters.
Well, it's an eclectic selection of people there.
Wait, the town's called Eclectic, Alabama.
Eclectic Alabama, baby.
That's an oxymoronic title. If I ever.
You know what? I fucked that up. I'm wrong. Eclectic is a town near where he lives. He lives in Excel, so like the Microsoft program.
Well, they're doing better than Eclectic.
They're real good at spreadsheets down there in
Excel,
Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah. But I was texting him updates and pictures, and there was this is why I know this is because I wrote this down for everybody. There was a guy behind me who was super into Billy Gunn. Everybody else was shitting on him.
He was an ass man.
I was cheering for him because I frankly didn't know who Tanahashi was. I was like, who's this Naruto fucking Yu-Gi-Oh looking motherfucker?
He looks like a goddamn Yorkie.
Yeah, it does look like a Yorkie.
He has such beautiful hair. Tanahashi's got the Rachel. I mean, come on.
He does. He does. He
I
may as
love
well be
it.
holding a vitamin water in a black and white photo.
Yeah, he looks amazing.
They look like Final Fantasy characters.
Right. Well,
But
that's
I think
what.
that's
Yeah,
what.
yeah. I think they're
isn't
supposed
that like
to.
what they're going for? Kind of like
Probably.
that
I
general
think that's
thing?
the gimmick.
All right, what were you? I
So
apologize.
sorry, no, but anyway, me and this guy behind me were super, and good night too. We were all cheering.
Oh,
for,
I was,
and
too,
Pat. We
yeah.
were all going for Mr. Ass.
I was chanting for more ass.
and this guy behind me goes, people were just fucking booing, and this guy behind me, I just overhear him go, "Stop hating on Mr. Ass, you assholes!" And it was great. And then the same guy about a minute later goes, "He looks awesome for being in his 50s. His ass is holding up, bro." I was like, that is...
And it was.
Fire JR, put this guy on commentary.
Is
For
he
the
in
love
his,
of God.
Is he in his 50s?
I think so. I think he's
Why do
probably...
I feel like he's a little older than that?
You think he's in his 60s?
Yeah, there's some about the ass man's face.
The hairline. He has the big forehead like Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah, but it
That's
feels
just steroids and living in Florida.
late 50s, maybe early 60s. And God knows what living in Florida does to you.
Well, Pat can tell you.
Oh yeah. It's
Are you
why
from
he's there.
Florida?
Yeah, it's a rough existence.
Where are you from in Florida?
Melbourne. So Cocoa
Melbourne.
Beach. Melbourne.
Billy Gunn's 53.
Yeah.
I'm a nice man.
Yeah.
I'm a freedom.
I'm a nice man.
Stick 'em.
I like to pick them. I like to watch them.
Didn't you see a stripper come out to that song?
Yes.
In Montreal or something.
Yeah, that's how big it was at the time. It was starting to make the strip. When you made the strip club scene, that's crossed over.
Yeah.
Because if you went to like a strip club in 1986, weren't nobody coming out to grab them cakes or nothing like that.
But I'll tell you, and I think I talked about this on my podcast, as an ass man myself, I'm obsessed with butts.
Yeah.
That song really...
It's really an anthem.
It's an anthem, and it really understands the psychology of an ass man.
Yeah. Hell
The
yeah.
feeling of it. It really... No song has it's sort of mixed a lot, or even the thong song. No song ever really got it like the ass man.
It must have been written by a real ass
Yes,
man that
exactly.
would really know.
Because
Jim
really,
Johnson.
Jim Johnson.
Really, you have to realize there's so many asses, so little time.
Yep.
A nice little cute one will stop me on a dime.
You're an ass man.
But I mean, that's if you're into little cute ones.
Yeah.
I like just, big, fat, ridiculous messes. All right.
Would you like to put a little... Oh, no, I got a question.
Oh, God.
Rikishi put a little ass on it. How do you rate that as an ass song? Have you heard that one?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
well, this is not a super group, but we should.
But it is super.
It's very super. We should get Tom's opinion on this.
All right.
Imagine-
this is Rikishi.
Rikishi the wrestler doing Barry White essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rikishi is actually a Hawaiian man.
Samoan or
yeah.
something?
Samoan.
He was making a difference.
Is anyone Hawaiian? I'm going to sound so fucking ignorant right now. What else is new? Is anyone Hawaiian, or if you're from Hawaii, you're Samoan?
Lord James Blears was English, but he lived in Hawaii.
Ricky Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat wasn't really Hawaiian.
Well, was he not?
That was the gimmick from Sam Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat was just Japanese American.
So yeah, this is Rikishi. The song is "Put a Little Ass on It." It's from the WWE Originals.
I can tell by the awful production quality.
Easy. Holding on tight, trying hard just to keep control.
His voice is...
Don't let go,
It's better than expected.
but don't worry, baby. I'll show you tonight a way to soothe your soul.
Oh, man, this is my
Okay.
G1 climax.
Let's go.
Here we go. Oh.
Oh, I know you're aching, baby.
Is he talking to an ass?
Until you stop all this shaking.
He says, I'm going to hold you back till I stop.
Oh, listen, baby.
See, this is one of those fucking WWE things where you're not sure if they're in on their own joke.
I don't think they are.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, put a little ass on it. Yeah, if you want to hear more of our take on that, you can check out our celebrity albums episode with Monica Scott.
By the way, Don Morocco, I think, was really from Hawaii.
Oh, okay. So today, I had this idea, and I think it's a fun one. The thing that made me think of it was we got on the topic of some VH1 original reality shows.
Sure.
And there was one a little known one that came out in 2008 that was called Supergroup. And the idea was they were going to get a bunch of musicians, all masters of different instruments.
Were they rockers?
They were all rockers, put them in a house together.
Wait, was the son of John Bonham?
Yeah, Jason Bonham.
Yeah.
Son of John Bonham was in a house with,
Just like a legend.
Sebastian Bach was one of them.
And he was a fucking drunk and fucking Scott Ian had to talk him down a few times.
Yep, Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard, and then finally, the Motor City Madman, Ted fucking Nugent.
Ted Nugent was in
Ted
it?
Nugent was the lead guitar player in this band, and they put him in a house together and were like, hey, make an album. Or make a song, I think. It was just a song. And after...
What's the deal with butt metal?
It's not that Seinfeld.
So this came out of a reality show.
Yeah.
How many reality shows has Ted Nugent been on?
All
Countless.
all the good ones, as far as I'm
Yeah, that's
concerned.
true, actually. Because he's the only reality show with crossbows.
Yeah, that's right. And then the big notable blow up with Ted Nugent was that he got into it with Scotty Ian and Evan Seinfeld because they wanted to do a tribute to Dimebag Darrell, and he was like, I'm not paying tribute to anybody who did drugs. And that was his fucking hard line, was because Dimebag's name is Dimebag. And they were like, fucking Ted Nugent's an asshole. I'm like, you guys didn't know that? Did you not know you were getting
I thought you were living with him.
Yeah.
They must have had such deep pockets back then.
Yeah, that was during
Actually, no. I don't think it probably takes that deep of pockets to get like Scott Ian and a dude from Biohazard. So maybe not that deep. But that was back when like people were just eating up reality shows.
Oh yeah. Well,
so
that was
you
the
could just do whatever.
Celebriality was what they were calling that on VH1.
God, if you could come up with the song that they made, and I bet it has freedom in the title.
It's called "Take It Back."
Oh,
Yeah.
Bitch. What were they called?
Oh, so I didn't even get to that part. The name of the band is Damocracy.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
that is so awful.
So
that's like the name of a Motley Crue record that would come out like next month.
Yeah. It got to the point in the show where they were arguing over what the name would be, and somebody was just like, yeah, well, we're going with Butt Drip or whatever their name was, and it wasn't really that, but somebody had a hard line, and he was just, and then somebody goes,
something having to do with like a fist or something.
Yeah, and there was this
some metal.
Well, there was this moment that was
Smell
so
the glove.
shark sandwich,
Shit sandwich.
But there's this moment that's so clearly constructed by the producers where like somebody goes, he's like, we're naming it Butt Drip, and then somebody goes, hey man, this is a goddamn democracy, and then like everybody goes, Democracy.
Oh,
yeah. God. And that's how they came to it. And so, yeah, we got
You know how many people just walked into the ocean fully clothed after seeing that scene late at night?
Yeah. So you got.
I think I want to have to hearing about it.
We haven't even heard the song yet. So this is.
Do we have to?
Oh, we got to.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got to.
So this is
going to be great podcast.
Oh, fuck yeah. So this is.
But the thing is it's going to get worse.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to get.
Episode.
Yeah. This ain't even.
Also, this is going to be a downward spiral into hell that Rivers is leading us.
we'll have some bright spots.
Musical hell.
So I'll just tell you the name of the band is Damocracy. On bass, you got Evan Seinfeld from the band Biohazard. Ted Nugent, lead guitar.
The Seinfeld bass player.
Yeah. He played slap bass on a keyboard.
Jason Bonham on drums and Scotty Ian on bass. This is Damocracy, and this is the song that they all wrote together. They only managed to write one song. The rest are all covers.
Now, wait. Before you go,
Oh, yeah.
did Ted Nugent is he on this or did he leave? I felt like he left.
No,
did he leave?
he left at one point in the show, but he came back.
They just didn't record the Dime Bag song.
Well, it's funny because he left because Sebastian Bach was drunk, and then everybody got pissed at Sebastian Bach for being drunk, and then Sebastian Bach cleaned himself up for the end of the show, and then
God, have you
came back.
seen Sebastian Bach's face lately?
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh God,
Yeah,
every mile is on that face.
Yeah, it looks like a guava that's been thrown on the ground a bunch. It looks bad.
But in his mind, he's like, I still look great.
I still rock. This is Democracy with Take It Back. Let's have a listen.
Okay.
There's Ted.
Kind of like Ted's part.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I see these guys, man.
Oh, just wait till the voice.
All right, that solo is unnecessary.
There's that Skid Row shit.
This song belongs on a MySpace profile.
This is the band where all you hear from the crowd is like, you want to go smoke or pee?
We're just waiting for Cat Scratch Fever. Yeah, so that's
I mean,
that's Democracy.
like Mr. Goodnight said, it is pretty generic,
Yeah.
but I mean, that could be way more awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not awful. It's just sort of blasé.
And I don't, is it, in my opinion, and you could probably name a million examples of when it works, but like opening with a guitar solo,
Yeah.
like having a guitar
Yeah, you
solo.
have nothing to
in the
build
first-
to.
Yeah, it's like, well, I can't G1 Climax because you did it too soon.
Right. Well, it's like Ted's just like, gotta get my shit in, brother.
Yeah.
So that's
Or was that Scott Ian?
no.
Getting his shit.
Scotty is
Well,
the bass
clearly,
player.
this
No,
was
Scott Ian's
songwriting
rhythm.
by
Yeah, that's
committee.
right. He's rhythm.
Songwriting by
this isn't
committee.
Spinal Tap where they have multiple bassists.
Yeah,
They
that's
have-
right. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah,
They blow up.
Scott Ian's rhythm. But yeah, so that was.
Jason Bonham blows up. He chokes on vomit at a certain point.
Yeah, Jason Baum just like
Family tradition.
I love my dad.
Well, I think at one point that was even brought up. Like Ted was like hesitant to do Out on the Tiles because everybody in Led Zeppelin was drunk.
God.
Like I'm serious. Like he was such a moralistic.
Did he do
dickbag.
Journey to the Center of Your Mind?
Yeah.
But if you want to
It's a
do a
song
song
about
by like,
introspection. You know,
It's
you gotta
always
think
good to
sometimes.
reflect.
you know, Ted Nugent allegedly probably fucked God knows how many like 13-year-old girls. So
yeah.
if you did a song about that, he'd be like, I'm fine with that. What's wrong with you guys? I don't do drugs.
I'm the
All the
young
people-
chicks, sure.
I'm the
seriously.
crave man.
All the people that played a straight edge game like that don't drink or do drugs, the Gene Simmons, the Ted Nugents, the Jerry Lawlers, they always make it up with the sax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Underage
Which makes you
too.
ask a lot of questions about Ian MacKaye.
Well, with like
What's going
questionable
on in that
sex.
Discord house?
Yeah.
If I recall correctly from the Behind the Music Ted Nugent episode, as he calls it, a wang dang addict.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
Well, only a Wang Dang addict could write a song like Wango Tango.
yeah, once he got his first taste of Wango Tango, that was it. God, he must just be so happy there was no internet back. He would
Oh, God.
totally be in jail. Bigly, to quote. Donald.
To quote
I love saying Bigly now.
WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump.
All right, what do you got next?
Yeah, so anyway, with the Democracy thing in mind, I decided what would be fun. We're gonna go down a list. I'm gonna play some good super groups, possibly some bad super groups, and then we're gonna like come up with our favorite, and then maybe the worst, and then we're gonna at the end we're gonna tell you guys what we think should be
What was the
what we would
Fish,
have.
Les Claypool, Stuart Copeland one? What were they called?
We can get there first.
Oh,
That's
please
Oh
don't.
yes.
No.
So it's been well documented my love of Fish on this show.
Oh, no, I
And
love
their
Fish, too.
And their hatred.
Sure.
So this is going to be a lot of fun. So there was
I'm having an open mind.
so this
No, but all their songs, if Les Claypool was fronting it, it was a Primus song.
Yeah.
If Trey fronted it, it was a Fish song.
pretty much. So the band this record came out in 2001. The band is called Oysterhead.
See, right there.
Yeah, but yeah. So this band, they put out one record in 2001. They toured for that record and then did not play again or since. They played one show in 2006 at Bonnaroo, and I was there. And Trey Anastasio has on his guitar a
Was he sober by that point?
Strings?
No, he was very fucked up at that point. He had this guitar that is called the Matterhorn that hardcores will know of. That this guitar that he has turned. Pat, you have no idea what I'm even about to say. He has turned this guitar. It has an elk antler that.
Wait, Trey or Les?
Trey
Or Ted
Anastasio
Nugent.
from Fish has Pat is dying. No, you can't even imagine what I'm about to say. There's an elk antler that comes out of this guitar, and he has turned the elk antler into a low-end theremin. So when he's playing, he can play on a loop, and then he could take his hand and put it near the antler, and it goes wow, and it's called the Matterhorn. Now, I'm watching this. I was not on mushrooms, but all of my friends were, and they were all seeing a horn growing out of Trey's head while this was going on, and they did not enjoy the Matterhorn. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, man.
I saw Fish in Camden, New Jersey once.
Pat's gone apoplectic.
Yeah,
Pat's gone papaplectic.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
The Matterhorn, Pat, get into it.
The Patterhorn.
The Patterhorn.
Pat is right, though. I want to second Pat. He's right. It's stupid.
I saw Fish in Camden, New Jersey, and I was just ripped on tons of drugs.
So you did it right, yeah.
And
Did a horn grow out of his head?
No, Trey. You know how they have the Trons where you can see them, and Trey, because of the amount of drugs I was on, just turned into Jerry Garcia.
Oh shit, yeah.
And I just couldn't quite understand why no one else was like freaking out over this.
Yeah.
So I just kept saying to people like, "Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Are you seeing this?" And people were just on their drugs, so they were like, "Yeah."
Okay, here's a theory. Perhaps he's a shapeshifter, but you can only detect what's going on if you've taken the right drug.
Yeah, it's like They Live, but
Yeah.
instead of glasses, it's mushrooms you have to eat.
It was a lot of dumb stuff I put in my body.
So in 2001, he puts out a record. It's Trey Anastasio on guitar. On bass, Primus's Les Claypool. And on drums, Stuart Copeland from The Police.
This sounds overbooked.
Well, there's
In
only three
theory,
people
though,
in the band.
this could have gone right.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I fucking love Oysterhead. So going into this, you guys feel free to laugh at me. I don't care. This song is called Armies on Ecstasy.
What did they see?
It's the Armies on Ecstasy.
Glow stick?
I listened to about 2 seconds of this garbage.
Wait, you haven't heard Les's vocals yet. Pat.
Sounds like an NPR bumper.
Here we go.
Said the king of contradiction to the queen of mystery, the prince of paradox. He dogs me like a flea, so I'll set my troops upon him and bring him to his knees. When all is said and done, I'll pick a fight with the Chinese.
It's that sort of like,
Oh fuck, I love it so much.
This is more nerd shit.
Were you the one that said that it sounded like an NPR bumper?
Yeah, at the beginning.
It sounds like an NPR bumper.
Or the music when you had a Wii and you go to the Nintendo store.
I was gonna say,
download
it
stuff.
sounds like an NPR bumper performed by people with frontal lobe damage.
no,
And then they start singing.
that's a great line. This sounds like an NPR bumper. That's just, that's so applicable, like with so much music.
Hi, I'm Kai Rizdal, coming up on Marketplace.
Yeah, but like that just sounds like we jammed for 15 minutes. We found a couple quick changes.
Yeah.
And Les is going to write some really just dumb fucking lyrics that no one's going to care about.
You don't like when he says, "I'll pick a fight with the Chinese."
No, it's just...
When they're trying too obviously to be silly.
I know.
Yeah.
and-
It just
and, like,
doesn't work.
Smart.
Can you go to a Trey one?
Oh yeah. The Trey one is
Because essentially with that bass, it sounds like a Primus song because Les Claypool is so
This
specific.
is a Trey one. This is called "Oz Is Ever Floating," and this is about John Lilly, the guy who was experimenting with dolphins and acid and shit.
Sure.
Dr. John C. Lilly.
Yeah.
Everything in this
I heard it the
album can
first
be
time.
used as a bumper.
You get some Stewart action in this one too.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love Stuart Copeland, but
Actually, these guys are better when they ain't singing.
There's Trey.
honestly,
Pat's faces are so
the bass is too high up in that
amazing.
mix.
Oh well, that's the thing with Les Claypool. If you don't,
It has to be.
Yeah,
But
he's front and center.
It's too high up. But Trey's too, I don't know how to describe it. It's just too light
his-
with the guitar.
it's
just
his
too like
guitar
bing,
tone.
Wing,
Yeah.
bing, and, he's not like really going in.
He is an astoundingly accomplished musician who cannot, for the life of him, rock. Pat,
See,
what do you
this
think?
This is like kind of like this thing where you have it's the Rush paradox, right? Where you just get like a bunch of
too good.
musicians that are really good at what they do technically, and then when they like put it together and construct into something, it's like negative. Like,
right,
the
here's-
idea of where it's like the greater than the sum of its parts, it's much less than the sum of its parts.
Here's the thing, Pat, and I don't mean to come at you, but I'm
Okay.
about to come at you.
Go for it.
I don't understand why bands like Fish and like Grateful Dead and jam bands in general really get people juiced up because these
Because they're
bands
high.
Who's high?
The audience.
the-
No. People like hate them. They
Yeah.
have this real hot hatred. And what I don't understand is these bands, A, are not in your face. They're not on the radio. They're kind of only in their own little bubble, and all they are is really just obsessed with music and like playing lots of music.
Yeah.
But God, it gets under people's skin.
Well, that's
It does,
because
yeah.
people sometimes make other people listen to it.
Yeah, that's one of the
like
things,
people
right?
who make people listen to Fish.
Where
Okay.
you get so when you go to college, right, and you live in dormitories, you're subjected to this stuff.
Yeah,
like you
you're
are
assaulted.
Manuel Noriega holed up, getting like Metallica blasted at you to get you out of the compound. Like it's like that. And then I'm of the school of thought where I
thought you were of the school of rock.
Well, there is like there we go. Yeah. There's music that's smart that I listen to. Like I like jazz music, but usually if it's anything rock and roll, I usually skew as stupid as I possibly can. Like it has to be just
What-
Rock should be stupid.
What gets it
Dumbest.
up for you in the rock realm?
like just the dumbest like sort of stuff.
Can you
Like-
name a
like
band?
Van Halen? You know,
Okay.
Van Halen is stupid. Motorhead, stupid. You like all that sort of stuff. Like it doesn't have any sort of pretense of like.
Rock should be stupid because nobody cares what a guitar player thinks. They just want to hear him play.
Well, let's put that theory to the test. So these guys should rock. The band is called the Wonder Girls. Does anybody know the Wonder Girls?
No.
Let me read you the members. By the way, the year 1999, I'm looking at the supergroup. There's on Wikipedia, it's the list of musical supergroups. The year 1999
Was big for supergroups?
fraught with
Yeah,
supergroups. So this one is, oh boy, here we go. Ian Astbury from The Cult, Kevin
brother.
Andrews from Failure, Shannon Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars, Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. These are all people in one band.
How the fuck can those two coexist in one band?
Jay Gordon from Orgy, Ryan Shuck also from Orgy, Doug Ardito from Puddle of
How
Mud,
many people are in this damn band?
Were they like a Slipknot?
Troy Van Leeuwen from Queens of the
Orchestra?
Stone Age, Martin Lenoble from Porno for Pyros, and somebody named Ashley Hamilton. So the band is called Wonder Girls, and
Is this some sort of benefit group to keep Jenko in business or something like
it's
that?
That's very
We
funny.
need to rescue Jenko. So
not
we
enough
need
girls have belly button tattoos.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
raise some.
Remember when like
belly button
Orgy
cheers.
was like fucking popular?
this
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
1999. Yeah,
Like they were like they were in like Guitar Magazine.
Yeah.
They like had their own custom guitars.
I'll never
Oh,
forget.
yeah.
I'll never forget Casey Kasem on the top 40 going, all right, this weekend, these guys have hit number one. And this song was also in our top 40 under New Order. This is Orgy with Blue Monday.
Now, Orgy also, everyone thinks they just had Blue Monday, but they also had a relatively sizable hit.
Stitches.
Stitches.
Yeah, which was the name of the song. And I defy you to hum the tune.
Tie yourself to me, stitch on.
Right, yeah. I don't know the
How'd it
words.
go?
Yeah, it's
Rolling dice and seeming queer. Bastard love a sycophant.
So anyway,
What new disease?
L.A. must have been so
Yeah.
gross back then.
oh my god.
yeah.
So this is all of those people I just mentioned. And by the way, the name of their album from 1999 is called Drop That
Wait,
Baby.
before you hit, oh god, that's awful. Before you hit play, I imagine this is gonna sound like. Do you ever see that fucking movie Dewey Cox?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You remember when he's all like crazy and he's in his Brian Wilson
Yeah,
face
yeah,
and there's just all those people there?
I
and
wrote this on a trampoline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna sound like that.
Oh boy, it's gonna be that, but butt rock. Here we go.
What is with that snare sound?
Just shut this shit off right now.
No, we gotta hear vocals.
Yeah, we got to hear Scott Weiland or Mark McGrath. I'm kind of curious. It looks like Scott.
Up next on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
wow. The video
Is that Scott Weiland?
Yeah, that's Scott Weiland.
Singing right now?
Yeah,
No.
right?
There's a lot of fucking people.
There's so many people in this.
They could have made 2 fucking groups out of this.
Yeah, this is way overbooked.
Were the members not
No,
super enough?
No, that's not Scott Weiland, but the other guy
Scott's not
was.
really singing right now.
Yeah, it's the other guy. Yeah.
Well, we got to get to Scott's vocals. I mean, the man gave his life to music
Yeah, that's right.
and heroin.
Yeah, there's Scott.
Is he playing an instrument?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh,
got Scott on the
God.
guitar.
He's like, I'll be in it if I can play the guitar. And they're like, that's what you're known for, Scott. Difficult.
That's the orgy guy.
This is supposed to be
Yeah.
like David Bowie.
He's supposed to be New Order.
There should just be good dudes like coming all over everybody in this video. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that's really graphic, but
I don't think anybody could get that excited
I
over
mean,
this
yeah,
video.
because this is a giant jerk off.
I think what we're sort of like the pattern that seems to be emerging is that with so many people, it's a race to the middle. You know what I mean?
oh wait, who's this guy jamming out?
What's happening? But yeah, this kind of seems like it's a whole lot of effort to be so mediocre. I don't know if Mark McGrath is showing up.
No, I think I see Mark McGrath in there.
Yeah, I think I've seen him too.
Yeah, he's probably just everyone has the Mark McGrath haircut, so it's a little hard to tell. We'll post this on our Twitter. We're at the Goods Pod. You can see this video.
Yeah, they all
'cause
went to
it's-
Chaz Beverly Hills and was
fucking-
just like, I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
And then I'll have what he's having. It's like a human centipede of frosted
That's
tips.
the Wonder Girls.
that was shit.
So this is our next one. This is one that came around in 2010. It's a super group, but it's really a merger of 2 bands, 2 classic bands. Those being New Kids on the Block and the Backstreet Boys. Do you remember this? Do you remember this tour?
I know they toured together.
They toured together and they actually put out a record, which was basically a mix of all their like greatest hits. But then they did a couple of songs together.
Who was it credited to, or did they combine into one organism?
So the name of the band is NKOTBSB. That's the
That's a
actual.
lot of letters.
That
yeah,
is.
that sounds like NKOTBS to me.
Yes, it's bad.
If you add like a number and like an exclamation point, you have a really good password for like
yeah,
you
that's
know,
right. Yeah.
getting into your email. But I feel like of all the ones we've talked about though, this could be the most coherent and
Yeah.
profitable because you get them together, you get a lot of women
Yeah.
coming out to those shows.
Yeah, this is going to be a definite change in sound of what we've
right.
had so far. So this is NKOTBSB. Don't turn out the lights.
Oh, that's pretty
They would play this at my gym.
beginning.
Were they just pulling the lever up and down on the mixer?
I know we haven't been getting along long at all.
Oh, it's got a little dubstep action.
Time.
I have a feeling it's about to go. Brr, brr, brr,
You
brr.
and just call it off. I don't want to say goodbye, 'cause just when I think we're through,
This is a good pop song.
I was gonna
This
say,
is
it's the same
standard
band.
good pop song.
What it is, yeah. Is this really a super group though, or just a collaboration?
They released a record. They're a new band.
But it's collaboration between 2 groups.
That's true. Yeah.
Well,
You need at least 3 to make a super group, don't you?
Is that true?
Probably, because
Okay.
it's just a
They were,
collaboration.
Wikipedia counts them as a super group. so I was.
But does it count Queen and David Bowie
Huh?
when they did Under Pressure together?
But no, it's not. It's Queen and David Bowie, not NKOTBSB.
Yeah, not-
This is like
Yeah.
Well, that just says room
a
on the
merger.
record label.
Yeah.
this
That's
is
true.
a merger.
Yeah. It's a it's a merger. This is Time Warner.
I'm actually kind of disappointed because like those guys in the group can actually sing the respective groups.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
totally.
Little Joey, I mean, come on, that guy can.
Joey
Mack.
Mack.
Joey Mack.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was kind of squandering the vocal talents of the what was that 9 guys in the group? Was Donnie involved in this?
Oh, I'm sure you will. Yeah, there's Donnie right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, Donnie didn't miss out on any
Yeah,
of the
hell-
reunion stuff.
Hell no. Donnie's waiting at the rehearsal space right now
Yeah,
for
dude.
this to
When
happen
he's done
again.
breaking it off and Jenny McCarthy, he's like,
Yeah.
just let me pop over to the studio.
I always think it's funny the interesting juxtaposition of that versus like the character he plays in Blue Bloods, where he's essentially just like Staten Island Rambo, more or less.
Well, did you remember him in Ransom?
With Mel Gibson?
Yeah, with Mel Gibson,
of
the
course.
Ron Howard movie.
Yeah.
Donnie was one of the fucking kidnappers.
Yeah, where's my son?
Yeah, who was really good. Give me back my
Give me
son!
back my son. Yeah.
Jimmy Shaker Day. He was a good actor, though.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
the Wahlbergs. Mark Wahlberg himself.
And now they're flipping burgers. Look
Yeah, the
at 'em now.
Wahlburgers.
The
Yeah,
Wahlburgers.
the Wahlburgers.
Did this tape come with a ticket for Wahlburgers, a coupon or something?
One free, no topping Wahlburger.
No bun, no topping.
No bun, no topping, uncooked.
Free lettuce on your next Wahlburger.
Was this thing a hit?
Sort of. I don't know. It's a hit in the way that everything is a hit now, where it's like it had its audience. I don't think they're besides.
But
Taylor,
they had a humongous tour when they actually toured
yeah,
together.
they did.
It was like
they
a
did have
massive
big tour.
you know.
I bet they all made their money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Even Danny Wolf, who needed the money the most, probably.
Have you seen pictures of Danny?
Not now.
He looks great.
Really?
Yeah, because some of the Backstreet Boys really beefed up, especially the guy that with the tattoos, the bad boy one.
Yeah.
of the
Oh,
Backstreet
AJ
Boys.
McLean. Or
But all the new kids look pretty healthy.
Oh boy, that Tom Sibley. He's a funny man.
he's a definite handful.
We're just dropping in here to do our thing. This is
We're dropping in from the woods.
from the woods.
Deliver us some goods.
Some goods, and it's this
Some
week's
famous goods.
some very famous goods, and it's this week's the Goods from the Woods Hall of Fame. And it's my turn this week, you guys, and I am thrilled. Today we're inducting a man. His real name is Jerry Williams. Was born in Portsmouth, Virginia in 1942. He was an accomplished singer and piano player before the age of 10, and as a young man he grew up idolizing Fats Domino. He eventually got noticed by the owners of the Capitol Theater, and they would put Jerry on stage as Little Jerry, and he was an opening act for Sam Cooke and the Midnighters. His first record was released when he was 12 under the name Little Jerry, and it's called HTD Blues, which stands for Heartsick, Troublesome, Down-Out Blues. This is a 12-year-old kid. His voice is incredible. For a 12-year-old, he has this incredible voice.
Is he playing the piano too?
He's playing the piano. Yeah, so that's Little Jerry. So eventually Little Jerry becomes just Jerry Williams, and he starts writing songs with Gary U.S. Bonds. So if you know Gary U.S. Bonds, and all throughout the 60s, they wrote a bunch of songs together, and not just soul songs either. They actually wrote one of my favorite country songs of all time called She's All I Got that was a big hit for Johnny Paycheck.
Oh.
So this song was written by Jerry Williams and Gary U.S. Bonds.
Did not know that.
Well, I said, friend, don't take her, she's all I've got.
This song is essentially the male version of Jolene. The narrator is pathetic. It is the most country song ever written. I love it so much.
And it does kind of have a northern soul element.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So basically the situation was when this record was released that same year, Jerry Williams is kicking around, and he's a songwriter. He's a pretty successful record producer, and his records are very good, but they're mostly covers because essentially his management was sort of trying to screw him out of a lot of royalties. So they had him recording covers, and he said this was his quote. I was tired of being a jukebox, singing all the hits by Chuck Jackson, Benny King, and being an R&B second banana. I couldn't dance as good as Joe Tex. I wasn't pretty like Tommy Hunt. Couldn't compare vocally to Jackie Wilson, and I didn't have the sex appeal of Daffy Duck. I wanted to sing about everything and anything and not be pigeonholed by the industry. And that's when, at the behest of music producer Jerry Wexler, Jerry Williams goes down to record a new album with the legendary Swampers in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And it's also around this time that Jerry Williams dropped acid for the first time and decided to rename himself Swamp Dog.
Swamp Dog.
Swamp
Yes.
Dog. Swamp because of his newfound friendship with the Swampers. Dog because, well, here's a quote. So I came up with the name Dog because a dog can do anything, and anything a dog does never comes as a real surprise. If he sleeps on the sofa, shits on the rug, pisses on the drapes, chews up your slippers, humps your mother-in-law's leg, jumps on your new clothes, and licks your face, he's never gotten out of character. You understand what he did. You curse him, but you make allowances for him, and you love him nevertheless.
I like this guy's style.
So this is what I'm getting to. The album that he made in Muscle Shoals still stands, in my opinion, as one of the greatest soul records ever made. This came out in
I do agree.
This came out in 1970. It is so fantastically weird. The album is called Total Destruction to Your Mind, and this is the title track. steals the line from I'm the Walrus. It's got that sweet Muscle Shoals sound.
Oh yeah, that's funky.
Yeah.
Always looking up, what's down? They've come to get me from the lost and found.
I love that line.
Believe me, I'm feeling bad. To the world I told so wide. And then I do total destruction to your mind.
So yeah, that is the record, Total Destruction of Your Mind. And if you do nothing else, follow up. Check it out on Spotify. It's up there now. I wanted to play one other song from the record. So the record has it has everything you love in a good soul record. It's got love songs. It's got existential musings. A really good song called "If I Die Tomorrow, I Live Today." And then very sharp social commentary. There's a song called "Hey Redneck," where he's just talking shit about white Southerners. And then he's got this one song that is, I'd put up there in the pantheon of great acid songs. It's called "Spirit Dust Your Head Color Red." But it's this beautiful soul ballad, but it is complete acid dada.
Spirit dust your head color red. Sparkle your insides pink with pleasure. Wave splash silver your skies. La 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 la. Oh yeah.
This dude is the most amazing artist. I love Swampdog, particularly, and I brought him out this time of year too because this is a good summer record. You can put this shit on by the pool and just chill, man. Swampdog is the best. He's got just real groovy stuff, and it's not just Total Destruction. I actually became aware of Swampdog, and I wanted to get into this. I'm going to put up all these on our Twitter so you can see what we're talking about. I got into Swampdog because they sent his record from 1991. We had a copy of his record from 1991 sitting around the radio station, and we just thought it was hilarious. The record is Surfin in Harlem, and it is it's a picture of Swamp on a surfboard, basically surfing out of a fire hydrant. And
when you said surfing in Harlem, I was about to say, what is he surfing, or an open fire?
Yeah, that's literally. And this was actually my first impression of Swampdog. Was I heard the song "Surfing in Harlem."
Surfing in Harlem, surfing in Harlem.
This song is mad.
This song is fucking complete madness. So we listened to this at the radio station. We thought it was awesome, and that's actually how I found out about Swampdog. We got this record, and I went back and looked at all of his album covers. All of his album covers are fucking nuts. He has his second record called Rat On, where it's him riding a rat.
That's a classic one.
He's got one called Resurrection of Swampdog, which is him on a cross wearing a hat that says Witness Protection Program. And then even that first record, Total Destruction of Your Mind, is him in his Beetle boots, but he has no pants, and he's sitting on top of a garbage truck. Swampdog is awesome. I highly, highly encourage you guys to go check it out. Almost all of his records are on Spotify right now. You can check them out. We're going to put up some of his best songs on our Spotify. You can just find us at The Good Spot. But before we go, I wanted to say this. Swampdog, after Total Destruction, he went on to record 21 more albums, and he's still alive, and he just celebrated his 75th birthday. So he lives in Los Angeles. I got to see him with Lee Baines III and Glory Fires, which are a fucking awesome band. They toured with Swampdog during one of his most recent comebacks. Then when they were in Los Angeles, they called him up, and he came down and jammed with them, and they played all of his old songs from Total Destruction. And he's old as shit, and he has a cane, but goddamn it, he was rocking. And Lee Baines is a loud punk rock band, and you would think like an old guy like that, he was on stage the whole time just dancing his ass off with his cane. And I was like, this dude is the shit. So afterwards I came up to him and I was like, listen, man, I've been a big fan for a long time, and we got a picture together and everything. So I love Swampdog.
You're gonna have to put that picture up on the site.
It's gonna be on our Twitter. So find us at The Good Spot. You can see a picture of me and Swamp. Happy 75th birthday to this genius. Before we go, I did want to read some of his song titles because he is a master of song titles. So here's some of them. Return of the Donkey. Mama's Baby, Daddy's Maybe. If I Ever Kiss It, He Can Kiss It Goodbye. Sexy, 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 number 3. I Should Never Have Written This Song. I Couldn't Pay for What I Got Last Night. He don't like country music and he hates little kids. Fuck the bomb, stop the drugs. That's my wife. That ain't my wife. 2 different songs.
Are they on the same record?
No, they're on different records.
Oh.
Yeah, he had some time. Artificial insemination. The white man made me do it. The love we got ain't worth 2 dead flies. I've never been to Africa and it's your fault. and an awful Christmas and a lousy New Year. So fucking
Swampdog rules.
Swampdog rules, man. Go check out Swampdog.
I like the fact he spells his name with 2 G's.
2 G's, that's right. Anyway, yeah, that is my addition this week to the Goods from the Woods Hall of Fame. Jerry Williams, aka Swampdog. I was gonna run down a list of some supergroups just to get some ideas flowing, and then we're gonna talk about our favorites.
Okay,
if we got one. So this is what I have on my list. So Eric Clapton is sort of the king of the supergroup. He has 3 that I know of. There is Cream, which people forget is a supergroup, but does technically count. That's the thing of like a lot of these. Some of them kind of like went on to like exceed their sort of novelty factor or whatever. So
Eclipse.
Yeah, exactly. The other one's Blind Faith, which is him and Steve Winwood, and then the other one is Derek and the Dominoes, which is him and Dwayne Allman. So those are kind of the 3 Clapton supergroups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those just sound like they produced a lot of annoying blues records.
I mean, yeah.
Not to mention those like rainbow concert ones he did, like with Dave Mason and a bunch of other people, like playing 20 minutes of blues guitar that my dad would listen to. He'd be like, oh yeah.
Well, the record.
Winwood's going to come in soon, and he can sing like an MFer,
But you've got let's see, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Is one that might be the legit first supergroup.
And because it was mediocre.
Yeah.
But they weren't actively in other bands, with the exception of.
Yeah, they were the Hollies.
But
were the Hollies? The Hollies still did Long
active.
Tall Woman and
and
the Birds. The Birds were
Stop.
active, but Fatso wasn't in them anymore.
Yeah.
But they were all substantial names of the time getting together.
Right. Yeah. That's what I qualified as.
Yeah.
I'll buy these guys as a supergroup too.
Yeah, I would.
I never would have thought of them as a supergroup, but being
at the
put
time,
in this context, it's like, I guess they were.
2 guys from Buffalo Springfield, 1 guy from the Hollies, one guy from the Birds. That makes sense.
Who else you got?
The other ones we got Damn Yankees. That's kind of the classic one. A guy from Night Ranger, a guy from Styx, and Ted fucking Nugent again.
Damn Yankees is the quintessential supergroup.
I would beg to differ. It would be the Traveling Wilburys because it has a Beatle and Bob Dylan in it.
That's probably
and Roy Orbison.
That's the one I was leading up to. So I was going to say Damn Yankees.
I figured you were ramping up to that. But like Damn Yankees,
so
did Traveling Wilburys have a hit?
Into the line. Yeah, I got that one queued up in just a second. This is we'll just run this in the background. This is the Damn Yankees, and it's funny because these guys are all supposed to rock, and they have like one of the pussiest songs ever. Called
I know. That's
what was the name of this song?
Can you take me high enough?
That was a great song.
Yeah, but
fly me over.
But it does not rock really. It sounds like late era Aerosmith.
God, they knew they had a hit on their hands when they were making this.
They're like, Ted, just don't say anything racist and we'll make $1 million. Can you take me high?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That's when I looked into Shirlene's eyes and I told her summer's going to last forever.
You and me in this Trans Am, baby. It's just us on the horizon. This is going to... Oh, well, I got to go back to jail, but later, 5 years.
That was great.
Yeah, that's so there's one.
Coming of Age is their rocker that they had.
And then it was all just leading to this. So this is the Traveling Wilburys, Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, George Harrison, Roy Orbison. Am I missing somebody?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, yeah.
But it's all right.
And it sounds like a George Harrison song where they just take turns singing the vocals.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, and they're all sitting around just playing guitar. Bob Dylan's in his like weird like between Oh Mercy and like Christianity phase where
Yeah, and he's got the glasses on and everything.
He literally looks into the camera at one point. He's like, I'm not really sure who I am right now.
this is like a weird time for me.
Tom Petty was in that weird stage too.
Yeah, this is like
When he was hanging around like the Gary Shandling show and shit like that.
This is like pre Full Moon Fever, but like post refugee.
But you know what, man? This shit wasn't as big of a hit as that damn Yankees song.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, man, that's a good question. What was a bigger hit?
And everybody knows this damn group.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's a couple of other big ones
Like
too.
the Traveling Wilburys was more of like
Got-
a reference that people would make.
Yeah.
But High Enough is like
was the
is
legit
like
hit.
the one that's like the bigger hit.
Yeah,
More
because-
remembered song. I
Like
think.
you were saying, it sounds kind of like a generic
Yeah.
George Harrison song with people trading vocals.
Well, the thing is, I think High Enough was of the times, whereas this was a more old-fashioned type of rock.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Everybody in this group kind of looks like a Muppet.
It's just
in
like
this stage.
it didn't feel like these guys were cashing in on anything. It was like, fuck it, let's make a record. We
Yeah.
all really like hanging out with each other.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
actually what happened.
Yeah.
But it does have that everybody's fooling around a little too much.
Or
aspect.
it kind of has that effect where it's just like a bunch of friends that were just like, hey, you know what would be cool if we could get to like hang out with Roy Orbison?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Wasn't that what it?
I think that's what
I
it
watched
was.
so many rock docs and like VH1 things. Was
Yeah.
that actually?
I think
it?
I think that's literally what
I
it
think
was.
that's
we
what
can
it
get
was.
Roy Orbison if it's us.
If I'm not mistaken, Jeff Lynne was producing Roy Orbison, and then he
was
told,
also working with
he told,
Harrison.
He told George Harrison, and then they somehow told Tom Petty, and it was like literally like a game of phone tag.
Ooh,
Wasn't
nice
Harrison
Dan
working on the
Electro-
song with Petty or something like that?
Oh, was that what it was? There was it was somehow they were all just like they were all fucking around, hanging around L.A. just in the same like.
Jeff Lynne was producing these guys. That's because he produced Bob Dylan, Empire Burlesque.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So he was like already, he'd done the George Harrison album, the one with
Yeah.
Got My Mind Set on You.
oh,
Cloud
which
Nine.
was a fucking hit.
Yeah.
That's
Cloud9,
a fucking hit.
huge hit. Yeah. So let's talk about our favorites. I'm gonna go just to piss off Pat. Oysterhead might be my favorite super group. That's dirt. And no lie, and I'm not just saying that to throw it in your face, Pat. But of all these on my list, that's the album I've listened to the most. The Grand Pecking Order by Oysterhead was in constant rotation in my CD player back in high school. So I don't know. What do you have? Do you have one that we
That's
haven't?
disgusting.
Do we have one that you haven't mentioned? Or
So
that we haven't mentioned?
I actually have three. I'm going to do two that I think are legitimately good and one that's absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
You have them on there. The Power Station.
Oh boy,
They're
yeah.
solid. Like, yeah, it's Robert Palmer. The Taylors from Duran Duran, and then Tony Thompson from Chic playing drums. But
They
it's-
also did the soundtrack for Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
oh hell yeah,
That was a great soundtrack.
That's Power Station.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, with Ray
Great
Song.
steel drums and everything.
That's them.
And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I think Nile Rodgers might have produced this.
Oh, well, that's why they're funky as shit then.
yeah. Well, Tony Thompson plays drums, and then also like John Taylor from Duran Duran. He's a funky bass player.
Yeah.
Like for somebody that actually kind of went into playing music naive.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he picked it up pretty well. How you gonna do it? Yeah, it's a good one.
Hell yeah.
The Highwaymen.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
shit. Yeah,
shit,
Willie
there you
Nelson,
go.
Merle
Willie Nelson, there you
Haggard,
go.
Johnny Cash.
I thought we
Chris
was only talking about
Christopherson.
rock music.
Chris Christopherson. Well,
Oh,
no, I think that
that's
counts. That
that's
counts. I have West Side Connection written down here. That's a hell of one. A rap super group.
Yeah, and then the funniest one, which you know what, I'm gonna call it a super group, Hearing Aid.
What's Hearing Aid?
Okay, so here's the thing. You get
That's their slogan. Hearing Aid.
no
Here's
Hearing
the
Aid
thing.
is the band. You know, you have USA for Africa. We Are the World. We have Do You Know It's Christmas Band-Aid.
Yeah, yeah.
We have Artists United Against Apartheid. We Ain't Gonna Play Sun City.
Yeah.
All, you know, that song's amazing, but the rest of them, you know.
We have the Wonder Girls with Save Our Bitches, Panama City, 1999.
Yeah, but the thing was that the heavy metal community felt slighted because they weren't involved in these projects.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So we get, and this is another Nugent supergroup. You have
Whoa.
every heavy metal singer, and you have every heavy metal guitarist.
Oh, this sounds like a disaster.
And you have so many clashing egos.
Yeah, I was
you
going to
have
say, how did they
8 guitar solos capped off with Yngwie J. Malmsteen's guitar solo.
No.
And that guy was always a handful.
No.
He's going to unleash the fucking fury, you
That's
know?
so crazy.
Didn't he have like some kind of drunken airport
Yeah,
arrest?
that's what I was talking about. He was on like this airplane he was on like a flight in
I bet
Japan.
He's intense. Yeah.
And he was just like, you don't know who I am. I'm going to unleash the fucking fury. And he's just like over and over again. Just wait till we get to talk, you bitch. You know, but it's like Rob Halford, Vince Neil, Jeff Tate from Queensryche, Kevin DuBrow from Quiet Riot, the Spinal Tap guys, just like
What?
everybody. And the song is just Dio started it, right?
Yeah.
Dio is like, he gave a lot. He was a great, like, he gave a lot of money to pets.
Humanitarian.
And like, yeah. And he like went into it with best intentions, but you get like 40 heavy metal frontmen and like 9 guitarists and drummers and it's just like so many clashed egos. The song is just tremendously bad because it's such a train wreck. This is like, actually, they made a documentary about it.
What?
Yeah.
The song is called Stars, by the way.
I think I've seen this.
Oh, God. This is so many people.
Yeah, Neil Sean from Journey.
There's Dio. Hell yeah.
But like all the voices, with the exception of Halford, are indistinguishable from each other.
Right, yeah, because it was that era.
Because it's a bunch of guys doing Dio impersonations. And then Rob Halford just doing his thing and being like the coolest.
Do you have a favorite, Tom? Do you have a favorite supergroup that we haven't mentioned, maybe? Or one that we have?
I would say... God, I'm racking my brain to even think of a supergroup, but I can't think. I just remember one from my straight edge hardcore days called like Path of Resistance. That was a bunch of like straight edge bands.
Sure.
And it had like probably like 2 lead singers. And the back cover of their album was a guy getting a giant X tattooed onto the back of his hand. But I would honestly say of all the stuff that we've talked about, Damn Yankees with that song, what happened when that chorus hit?
We
all of
sung
us
it
together.
Yeah, they probably are the most powerful.
Did that. I mean, that really landed.
Do you have a favorite Goodnight, or are you going Wilburys?
Outlaws.
Oh, the band Outlaws.
When Pat reminded me country bands counted, I was like, there we go. Because otherwise it would have been the Wilburys and I would have been really embarrassed.
Yeah. Who all's in Outlaws?
I had Jesse Coulter, Waylon. I'm too stoned to name all of them. But
My dad had the Outlaws album, and that I remember looking at that when I was a kid.
That record's awesome too, with the wanted posters and shit.
Yeah. So if you could construct a supergroup, and we'll end like this, Pat, what would you go with? Who are your guys?
So this is one that
girls.
This is one that we kid around a lot about in college.
Yeah.
It's a duo. It's a super duo.
Okay.
Rollins and Collins.
Dude, that would be incredible.
Henry Rollins and Phil Collins.
Phil
And
Collins.
if you want to throw in another Collins, the lead guy in Eve 6, so it could be Rollins, Collins, and Collins.
Or Judy Collins, too.
Judy Collins,
sweet
too.
Judy Blue Eyes. Let's get her in there.
Exactly.
You could throw in Gary Rossington. It could be the Rossington Collins band.
And Rollins bands.
Yeah, but we used to kid about Rollins and Collins and just having like Henry Rollins just like doing his thing, singing like Susudio or Billy Don't Lose My Number, or Phil Collins singing Liar for that matter.
Yeah, there we go.
And then we tried to expand it out, but it
Gimme. There we go.
Yeah.
Is that not a Henry Rollins
yeah,
song?
no, it is. It's a that just hit me in a great place.
Yeah, okay, good.
But
I was like, I think that's a Rollins song.
Yeah, no, that was a Black
gimme,
Flag song.
Gimme,
but,
yeah.
But we expanded out too much to be Rollins, Collins, Hasselhoff, Danzig. And that's a little too thin. So I would say Rollins and Collins is mine.
Good night. Do you have one? If you could put together a group, let's say you're an A&R man and you're like, I know I have a sound in my mind and only these people.
Because I'm a liar. I'll rip your heart out. I'll burn your soul. I'm a liar.
He looked good in a cop uniform too, didn't he? If I was going to have a supergroup, you could argue this is a collaboration or a duet or whatever. I'd have Prince laying down the music.
Yeah.
And Red Sovine reciting his tales of car crashes and accidents with Mack trucks and children dying in orphanages and things like that over some Prince tunes.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to witness the Phantom 309 as it rolls through this truck stop in Omaha.
I remember
Electric Word truck
when I
stop,
worked at
and
the
that's
Five
forever.
and Dime. How the hell did that one go? Raspberry Beret.
Yeah,
I was working one time in a five and dime.
You told me many times that you didn't
my
like
boss
my kind.
was Mr. McGee.
Yeah.
You know.
Tom, you got a super group?
I've been racking my brain. What I would want to do, this is going to be like a more punk-based one.
No, that's awesome.
I would love Dave Grohl on the drums.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's such a sick drummer and he can go fast and heavy.
The other supergroup king, by the way, them Crooked Vultures,
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters, if you want to really count that.
Yeah.
Probot, there's so many.
I would want him on drums, playing real heavy. I would want Fat Mike of NoFX on bass. And I think I'd want Lars Fredriksson from Rancid.
Oh, man, yeah.
Because he's like the ultimate rock and roll voice.
Yeah.
If you did a top 10 rock and roll voices, he could literally be on there. He's just got this unbelievable fucking voice.
Oh, yeah.
And the one Rancid album, Life Won't Wait, is this incredible album that's so interesting. But because it didn't land the way they wanted it to, they just made a lot of generic records after that.
Yeah.
But I would really be interested with those three guys coming in, all their sort of backgrounds and similarities coming together.
Because that Lars and the Bastards album was fantastic.
Was unbelievable.
It was fantastic.
But that was a rock and roll record. That wasn't necessarily a punk record.
But it showed off the guy as a lead man was super solid. And then with Dave Grohl, I mean, his stuff with Scream was some of the best drumming.
Yeah, he could play who doesn't know that already, of course.
Yeah.
But it's just unbelievable. And I love Fat Mike because he knows how to I love he's an unbelievable bassist. I mean, he truly is, but to have him there too, I feel like the three of them would do something interesting.
The one that I've often thought about, and I always think about the Outkast comeback record, because eventually Outkast has to come back. And the way to do it, I think, would be to have them with a live band. And I've always imagined, because one of the things I love so much, there's actually an episode of MTV Unplugged where it's Jay-Z playing with the Roots. And that hip-hop with a live band has such a good sound to it.
Well, the original one was the LL Cool J Unplugged, which is
that's right. Yeah, of course.
Bangs so hard. It's really great.
And so,
hip-hop with a band?
So
fucking incredible. Hip-hop without it?
Yeah.
You ever been to a fucking rap show?
Yeah, well, a lot of those... Well, the problem with a lot of rappers, and I had never put this together, but I think I heard it was maybe Jay-Z actually was the one who said this. He's a lot of rappers are young, and they've never performed live before. They've made all their own music in their bedrooms for so long that when you put them in front of a crowd, they're not performers. They're artists, obviously, but not performers.
Yeah.
And you have to grow into that. The thing I've thought would just sound fucking amazing. I thought this as soon as I there was a time where I was listening to a lot of Outkast and a lot of the Alabama Shakes, and I was like, those two together, if you could get that kind of hard edge, neo soul sound and apply it to hip hop, that would be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So I've been that's mine. A super group of the Alabama Shakes and Outkast.
Right on.
For the Outkast comeback, and that's our super group app.
Well,
Thank you guys.
lest we forget with the Outkast thing, the Dungeon Family, which is
They need to start talking
tremendous.
again. Did you watch the
Is that
documentary?
the Hearts or something?
No. Tom, where can people find you on the internet, sir?
You guys can find me at the Tom Sibley, both Twitter and Instagram. I do a podcast called We Watch Wrestling. You can check out my podcast. It's just me. It's called Oldest Bone in Town.
Whoa,
Podcast
you got
with Tom Sibley.
solo
It
joint?
hasn't started up yet, but that'll be out
Hell yeah.
probably in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking A, man.
Excellent.
Check that out.
check out his art too.
Yeah, Tom Sibley.
Oh yeah,
art.
at Tom Sibley Art on Instagram. I do a lot of paintings. If you're into that kind of thing, at Tom Sibley Art on Instagram. Instagram.
Yeah, check out Goof City.
Yeah.
Back episodes of Goof City.
Yeah. Former
Westcast.
Westcast partner.
We've
Goof
wanted
City.
to have Tom on since Goof City.
That's right.
So
Happy to
this
have
ain't
you
some
on,
Johnny
man.
come lately stuff.
Well, it's better you have me on now because I could plug this to more people than the Goof City days.
That's true, yeah. Well, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/thegoodspod. We're on Twitter @thegoodspod. Hey, tweet at us if you've got an idea for a super group. We'd love to hear it. And you can also
And if
find
you're a
us-
remixer, you can make Rollins and Collins a thing.
Yeah, please somebody do that.
Yeah.
Somebody out there is going to
They
do
call that
that
a
for us.
mashup.
Yeah, make us a mashup, Rollins and Collins, please. You can find us at those places. Big shout out to our friend Richard Eden, the webmaster, doing the hard work up there at the North Pole at thegoodspod.com. And Pat, what should they do when they get to iTunes?
Well, they should rate, review, and subscribe. Spread the word. 5 stars, everybody. Give 5 stars. And tell a friend because that shows the attitude of gratitude.
And if you don't have the attitude of gratitude, fuck you.
And by the way, I just want to knife in there because I believe that this is going to be on point. Come if you're in the Los Angeles area, you're around on the 28th of July. Come to Time Warp Records, Mar Vista. Butt Rock Brett, friend of the show. Butt Rock Brett's Comedy Ozfest, featuring his house band Head Joint. Great lineup: Guy Branum, Curtis Cook, Anna Valenzuela, Chris Estrada, Rivers, Good Night, and maybe we have a special guest appearance by somebody, some entity. So,
Can I jump back in?
Yeah.
Too? We Watch Wrestling Podcast live August 12th.
Oh, yeah.
In Los Angeles. You can get tickets for that. We Watch Wrestling live.brownpapertickets.com. And then We Watch Wrestling live in Brooklyn, August 18th. That's a
Nice.
Friday. That is almost sold out, but there may be a few tickets left for that.
Are you guys doing the Copper Still again? In
Copper
LA?
Still, that's the one in LA.
Yeah, hell yeah. Right.
Great fucking venue to do
It's a
shows.
fun venue, man.
They
Hell
just
yeah.
went bar.
Yeah. Alrighty. Song of the week this week. This is The Monsters of Folk, and this song is called Whole Lot of Losing. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Well, I got a lot, Lord, I got a lot of losing. Friends and heroes packing up and moving. One of these days I'll be left with nothing but memories in no time. So I better get accustomed, 'cause I got a lot, Lord, I got a lot of losing. By and by and by and by and by. Well, we never got paid, but we had a lot of laughs. So running like thieves through the streets of Chicago. Look at me now, I'm leaning out upon the window singing, I still miss someone. So I better get accustomed, 'cause I got a lot, Lord, I got a lot of losing. By and by and by and by and by. Picking up speed, picking up the pieces, losing leaves in every season. But winter ends right at my feet when flowers peeping up through the crack in the concrete. Well, I got a lot, Lord, I got a lot of losing. Friends and heroes are packing up and moving. One of these days I'll be left with nothing but memories and no time. So I better get accustomed, 'cause I got a lot, Lord, I got a lot of losing. By and by and by and by and by. I'm picking up speed, picking up the pieces, losing leaves in every season. But winter ends right at my feet with flowers peeping up through a crack in the concrete. I got a lot, Lord, I got a lot of losing. Friends and heroes are packing up and moving. One of these days I'll be left with nothing but memories and no time. So I better get accustomed, 'cause I got a lot, Lord, I got a lot of losing. By and by and by and by and by. By and 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 by.
The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter at DJ Smiles.